Today we're going to be working on my 2015 Ram 3/4 ton. We're just going to be doing the differential fluid in the rear and front diff. So it's pretty simple. You pull the diff cover, drop the fluid, clean everything up. These have a reusable seal, so it just seals back up, bolt everything back together. We fill it up with some 75/90. It does have the larger rear end, so this is 11 1/4. It holds 4 liters in the back, it holds 2 liters up front, and as long as we're within about 1/4 inch of that fill hole, we're gonna be golden. So it's pretty straightforward. It's only about a 20 or 30 minute job, but yeah, I'm just gonna start doing it and you guys can follow along. Make sure you ask questions in the comments if you have them, and you know, I'll answer those when I see them. All right. So for the ones I can't get to, I'm just gonna use a ratchet on those. I could jack this up and get this cross link out of the way where I could get an impact on all of these. I gotta pop this little retainer off that's holding on this, this rear brake line. And I'm just gonna loosen these two here, and I'll pull the ones at the top, and then I'll pop this loose so that this will dangle and hopefully drop all the fluid right here in this bucket. All right, once that's off, we can access the actual bolt. Get that up out of the way. So you want to remember which holes those came out. And I think that's the #1 complaint on doing this, is that you're working around all this stuff that makes it a little more difficult. All right, so I'm gonna leave those top 3 in there. I gotta get this guy off still. There we go. Well, not too bad. Definitely not as bad as it could have been. On the end of that drain plug is a magnet that collects all your metal shavings. And that's what 144,000 miles on a differential looks like. I think we are good. Let's pop the rest of these out. Now I'm focusing on this right here. I'm gonna work it off slowly because I'm gonna reuse this guy. Once you get a little cattywampus, you can just unscrew it right there. It'll come off. Oh no! I dropped it in the drain pan. Alright, so once your cover and gasket and everything's all clean, and you're all clean all the way around there, it's time to put everything back together and fill her up. So that's what we're gonna do. Alright, my service manual says to torque these things to 30 foot-pounds, but I don't feel comfortable torquing this size of bolt to 30 foot-pounds. So all specs say that this should be about 24. So I got mine set to 25. So I cleaned everything up. Got everything all torqued into place. So I'm just gonna hang my brackets back up where they were. Now I gotta go in and find that guy that I dropped. There he is. All right, put that guy back on. I'm just gonna use my socket. There we go. And now he's good to go. Now it's time for some differential fluid. So this fluid that I'm using here is full synthetic. I think that's all that really matters, is it's full synthetic. I'm a big fan of Valvoline or like Mobil 1. And I'm going to be using this pump that isn't really made for it, but that's what I have. All right. And I'm going to pump in, this is a full gallon, so 3.78 liters. So I'm going to pump this full thing in and a little bit of another one. So there is a fill line here. It's like actually right here, but like I said on this one, looks like anywhere between like 3/4 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch below that fill hole, you're gonna be good. And when it comes to, you know, having the additive for limited slip differentials, these ones have a helical system in them, so they're not necessarily clutches, so you don't really need the additive. It's not going to hurt it, but you don't need it. And I'm going to be here a while, so I'll edit most of this out. So I finished filling that up. You can see I got a little bit too much in there. It's going to drain out. That won't hurt it. That's, I mean, usually how I do it. And so once that's finished dripping, I'll put the filler plug back in it and turn this thing around. We're going to be ready for the front. Filler plug is in and tight, so I'm just going to go ahead and clean everything up. That way I can spot all my leaks if I have any in the future. One thing about this is that if I do have some sort of a leak, it's no big deal just to come back in here and snug down these bolts just a little bit more. I don't think I'm going to have any leaks just because the way that it's constructed and the way that gasket is. So yeah, like I said, we're going to turn this thing around. It's time to do the front. All right, so this is almost exactly like the rear differential. So basically what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna pop some of these off, get everything loose so that I could pull this out without taking it all the way off to let the fluid out. Once I get all that out, then I can, you know, clean everything up, put it back on, and then we're going to pop the filler plug, fill it up. This one's only gonna hold about 2 liters, so it should be a whole lot easier. And about the only difficulties we have are some hidden bolts up here. I don't feel like dealing with all this stuff. It's getting hot. So I'm gonna jack this up out of the way so that I can get to those differential bolts. There we go. Look at that front diff. Looks brand new. So I'm just gonna come in, I'm gonna clean up the edges of this housing. I'm gonna clean up the gasket and the cover, and then I'll put that cover back on. We'll open up the fill plug, fill it up until it begins to leak a little bit, and then we'll call her a day. So holding your gasket into place, we're gonna come back over here, we're gonna line everything up. Try not to lose it. I'm torquing these ones at 24 foot-pounds. You can go around and do your research. Some of these have changed, but 24 seems good to me. So the bolt size is pretty much the same as the rear. It's just the head that is different. All right, everything is torqued. So I'm gonna let this thing down off the jack. Remove that filler plug, and then we'll fill it up with fluid. I'm loving this new ratchet breaker bar. I mean, that's pretty sweet. So I've already cleaned this off and I cleaned everything else off. So I'm going to grab our diff fluid and making sure that we have plenty of blue shop towels around. I'm just going to do that right there and start pumping. So we should be getting pretty close. I'm looking through this jug and we don't have much left. There it is. Might as well empty that out. Nope. All right. All right, just like before, we're gonna clean it all up. But this way, if there are any leaks or seepage or anything, we'll be able to see them right away. So there you go. Not a bad job, just a little over an hour, and that's with moving a camera around and trying to get a whole bunch of different angles and things. So you can definitely do it. Save yourself like 600 bucks. And if you guys have any questions, make sure you put them in the comments. If it was helpful and you liked it, make sure you hit that like button. If you really want to support this channel, there's a super thanks, and you can also consider becoming a member. Everybody else, as always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next video.